Welcome to the channel. My name is Dayna McNeil and I'm a competitive powerlifter, and in this video I just want to go over what to expect at a powerlifting meet. I've already done a video on what to bring to a powerlifting meet. You can check that video out after. I'll make sure to link it in the description. I'll put a card somewhere on the screen. You just click that. But this video is going to be about what to expect at a powerlifting meet in terms of order of events. So I've only competed in USAPL, so that's the only experience I have. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you get to a meet is you want to get there a little bit early. So that's just my personal preference. I want to be there super early because I'd rather be there way too early than to get there a little bit late. And that's for a couple reasons. The main reason is so I can get a good spot in the warm-up room next to a wall outlet so that I can charge my devices if I need to. That spot holds a lot of power, literally. But also, when you get to a meet a little bit late, all the spots are taken and you just gotta sit in the corner, and nobody wants to do that, not even me. Okay, after you've arrived to the venue a little bit early and now it's time to do check-in, so these next two options are going to, they can run simultaneously, so just make sure you're paying attention. So check-ins and weigh-ins. So they're going to make sure that all of your equipment is legal to use. USAPL does have some bans on certain brands once you get to the national level, and then also they're checking to make sure that if you are participating in you're doing a raw meet, you don't just have all equipped stuff. So there's no way that you could be cheating. You don't have, you know, extra knee wraps in your gym bag, even though you probably could hide them. But during check-in, they're just making sure that everything is on the up and up, everything's good to go. Usually, well, at local meets, you just open up your bag, you should be good to go. Also, like I said, simultaneously they could be doing weigh-ins, so just make sure that you're paying attention, listening out for your name while they're doing weigh-ins. So USAPL does 2-hour weigh-ins prior to the flight time start. So if your flight starts at 3, then you'll weigh in at 1 o'clock. And then hopefully by this time the meet director will have already let you know, would have already sent out some sort of communication, whether via Facebook, email, Zoom, I don't know, but they should let you know what flight you're going to be in and what time you're going to be lifting. You shouldn't be finding that out as soon as you get there, because that kind of sucks. So now that you've done your equipment check, you're going to go right on over to weigh-ins because they've called your name, and you're going to weigh in, and congrats, you've made weight. You're going to record your weight down on the meet card, and then I believe the person that weighed you in is going to initial next to it. Either you or that person. Someone's initially next to that weight. Now, before you go sit down and relax and everything, what you need to do is you need to write down your openers. You don't need to write down all 3 attempts for all 3 lifts. You just write down your first attempt for each lift. So make sure that it is in kilos, because kilos is way different than pounds. 200 kilos is not the same as 200 pounds. So make sure you are paying attention. Also, there should be a pound to kilo conversion chart laying around somewhere. You can ask the people who are running the table if they have one, which they should, and then whatever weight attempt that you wrote down, make sure that that selection is actually on that conversion chart, because on that conversion chart, those are the only weights that can be loaded onto the barbell. So just make sure that those correspond. Remember, kilos, not pounds. Once you make an attempt, you can't go down in weight, you can only go up in weight. So if you put down 200 kilos and you're thinking it's 200 pounds and they call your name and you go on the platform and it's 440 pounds loaded onto the bar for a bench, good luck. So the last thing that you'll need to write down on your meet card in order for it to be complete will be your rack heights. Combo rack or whatever piece of equipment that they're going to be using on the platform, you should be able to go up to it and record your rack height. So make sure that you record the right number. If you don't know how to read it, like I said, usually at local meets, at any meet, you can just ask somebody. So just make sure that you write down your rack height. What a lot of people tend to forget about rack heights outside of squat and bench is the face saver height. So the face savers are the safeties when you're benching. After you've written all that, after you fill out your meet card completely, so on your meet card you have your name, how much you weighed in at, your rack heights, and your openers. You can turn your meet card in. Make sure you turn your meet card in to the people at the table. Kind of officially check in by turning in your meat card. If you don't have a meat card, they're gonna assume that you're not there and you're not gonna have anything loaded against you, so you won't be able to participate in that meet. So just make sure to not forget to turn in your meat card as soon as you're done filling it out. So now that you've turned in your meat card, you've weighed in, hopefully you've eaten something, eaten a little snack or two at this time. You're just basically gonna sit around and wait, relax. I mean, you got there early, so you got a wall charger. You can plug your phone in, watch your iPad. Just don't get too involved in what you're watching because you do have an athlete's briefing coming up. In this athlete's briefing, they'll go over basically the rules of squat, bench, deadlift, and what's going to constitute as a good lift and what's going to get you red lighted. So just make sure you pay attention, that during this athlete's briefing you're paying attention, and then if you have any questions about any of the lifts, now would be the time to ask, because you have maybe the meet directors giving the athletes a briefing or someone who was helping out with the meet. Now you have their full undivided attention, because after the athlete's briefing is over, everyone's going to go into meet mode, and I'm not going to say the last thing they want to do is answer your questions, but it'll be a little bit inconvenient for them to answer your questions while they are trying to help run a meet. Now, before attending the athlete's briefing, before going to the meet, you should be kind of sort of familiar with the rules. There are a bunch of videos out there on YouTube on what constitutes as a good and bad lift in whatever federation that you're competing in. And then every federation has a rule book, so I'm sure if you typed in USAPL rule book, you can look at the rule book and you can review what constitutes as a good and bad lift, so that you're not just going in there blind and that you have no idea what anything is. So now you've asked your questions, the athlete's brief is over, and you can just sit around and wait, and they should be doing a countdown when the meet's gonna start. You know, a little bit of last minute food in, or you should have been eating this whole time. I'm sorry, you should have been eating this whole time. If you're hungry, if you're not hungry, then don't eat. But just sit around and the biggest thing to do is to pay attention. Make sure that you are paying attention to your name being called and to the lifting order, because that can change. Even if you have a coach or a handler, you should still be cognizant of your surroundings. There are gonna be a couple things you're gonna listen out for. So if you do hear your name, that does not mean that you are up on the platform. So if person A is on the platform, they're gonna say person B up next, person C on deck, and person D is in the hole, which means that after person A goes, it will be person B's turn, and then person C is on deck, which means that they should probably make their way towards the platform and standing in the wings ready to go. And then person C or person D is in the hole. That means that wrapping up whatever they're doing and looking for their wrist wraps and knee sleeves and getting ready to put those on. So that's the order. So it'd go person A is on the platform, person B up next, C on deck, D is in the hole. So just make sure you're paying to that. So just because you hear your name does not mean that you're on the platform right now. Also, just because there is a lifting rotation, the rotation can change, so just look out for that as well. Okay, hopefully you get 9 out of 9. Make all 9 attempts. If not, give it a good go. Good luck at your meet. I hope that this video has helped you in some sort of way. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I will try to answer your questions, comments, concerns. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out the other videos I have on my channel, and feel free to hit that subscribe button. I plan on doing more content like this on what to expect at a powerlifting meet and going over different things, different aspects of powerlifting. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.